everyone, how are you? I have got a writing activity for you today. I really hope that you do it. I know that it's the Friday just before you break up for half term. I know that maybe you don't want to sit down and do some writing. So I've tried to make it a bit of a fun, practical activity with not a lot of writing. So hopefully we'll do it, and I would love to see that you do it because it is a really sweet activity that I've got for you today. Okay, so please do give it a go. I'm hopeful that if you've got this far for turning on the video that you are going to do it. Right then, let me share my screen and we can have a little look at what we are doing today. So on the daily overview, I have shared a link to this website called messylittlemonster.com. And on this webpage, she goes through, takes you through how to make paper fortune cookies. An advanced disclaimer, it's a little bit fiddly. You will need to help your child with it, but please do encourage them with cutting out circles. Cutting skills are something that are really tricky to acquire and develop at this age, so do encourage them to do the cutting themselves. And it makes reference to the fact that you need a printer. Oh, you don't. You can just have a piece of paper and they can colour in and make the funky patterns themselves. It says that you might need a glue gun. No, you don't. Just normal glue, a bit of sellotape, even a bit of blue tack will do. You definitely don't need a glue gun for this activity. So if you can follow that link and have a go at making the fortune cookies, that's brilliant. But what I'm going to focus on in my video is writing our sentences, our kindness sentences. Okay, so it's up to you what order you do it in. You can do the video with me to write your sentences and then go on to make your fortune cookies, or you can pause the video now, go and make your fortune cookies and then come back to me for writing your messages. It's up to you. So if you're still here, I'm going to assume that you're ready for writing your messages. So for today's writing activity, you're going to need some little strips of paper to do your writing on. You're going to need a pencil. You're going to need your phoneme mat as well. And we're also potentially going to need somewhere to write down the tricky words that we're working on today. Okay. So let's start off our writing lesson the same way we start off every writing lesson, by looking at our sound mat. And I know I'm going to say a word and I wonder if you can put your finger on the letter that is the last sound. So we've not done this one. This one's definitely the trickiest. So can you hear the last sound in these words and put your finger on it? Ready? Cup, cup, cup. What is it? Did you get it? It was P. Next one. Sun, sun, sun. It was Next one then. Hug, hug, hug. Did you get it? It was G. Next one then. Let's go with mum, mum, mum. What was the last sound? Did you get it? It was Next one then. Huff, huff, huff. Did you get it? It was F. And the last one, let's go with bell, bell, bell. What's the last sound in that word? Did you get it? It was L. Lovely stuff. Let's have a look then at our phase 3 sounds, the ones that are just that little bit trickier. So I'm going to let you pause the video and you go through these sounds yourself, and mums and dads making sure to revisit any sounds that you know your child is struggling to remember. Make sure you revisit that a couple of times. So off you go. You done it? Lovely. How are you getting on with those phase 3 sounds? They are a bit of a tricky muddle, aren't they? Because you've got 2 letters there, sometimes 3 letters to look at. Some of them look similar, but I really hope that your confidence is improving with recognising and remembering those phase 3 digraphs and trigraphs, because there are a few. Now, let's get on with today's writing activity. So we are going to write the inside of a fortune cookie. Oh, someone's getting a dojo point in school. We're going to write the inside. Oh, do you know, it's quiet all afternoon until I start to film, and then this goes off. It's like Mrs. Steele knows as soon as I turn the camera on. That's when she starts giving out dojo points. Stop being so well behaved, everybody. She finished? Okay, lovely. Well, let's carry on with our writing ourselves and see if we can earn some of those dojo points. So we are going to write the inside of a fortune cookie. Now, a fortune cookie normally tells your fortune, so it might tell you something that's going to happen in the future. Feel free to write some fortune cookies that tell your parents and your family members fortune, but I thought it would be nice to do this as a bit of a kindness exercise. So instead, we're going to write some messages to make our family members smile and put them inside the fortune cookies. Okay. To do that, we are going to use the sentence stem you are. You are, well, why don't you have a little bit of a think and a bit of a brainstorm and think about the end of that sentence? If you looked at your mum and you had to pick a word to describe her, a nice word to describe her, what would it be? You are kind, you are funny, you are sweet. Why don't you pause the video now and think about all of your family members and what words you would use to describe them? Have a think. Have you got some ideas? Yeah? Lovely. Before we start writing them, let's just look at that sentence stem, okay? It starts off with 2 tricky words. 2 tricky words that we cannot sound out ourselves. We just need to know how to spell them. So let's have a look at them. The first word is you. Can you find it on the screen? How do you know that's the word you? Starts with the y, the letter Y, y, and then it goes a little bit crazy in the middle. So let's have a look at how we spell the word you. So we know it starts off with that Y, making the y sound, but then it's O-U. I don't know why, okay? How do we spell the word you? Y-O-U. Y-O-U spells you. Y-O-U spells you. Can you join in with me? Y-O-U spells you. Y-O-U spells you. Y-O-U spells you. I don't know. Y-O-U spells you. Can you, using your whiteboard, a scrap of paper, anything, can you have a go at copying that down for me? And as you do it, can you say those letters with you whilst you do it? Y-O-U. Y-O-U spells you. I don't know. Y-O-U. Y-O-U. You, you, you. Y-O-U. Did you write it down? Brilliant. Maybe turn that paper over now because I want you to take a picture of the word you, and I'm going to hide it now, and I want to see if you can remember how to write it. Ready? Last look. Can you write down the word you? Can you remember that little jingle that I was saying to help me remember it? Y-O-U. Y-O-U. You, you, you. Y-O-U. Let's have a look. Did you get it right? I hope so. Well done. It's a really tricky word. It just doesn't really make much sense. But the next word does make a bit more sense. The next word is the word are. And when I look at the word are, I notice something. It's that it starts with the R digraph. I can see it there. There's that R digraph, A-R, the R digraph. I can find it on my mat here for a set of cards. Or I like to sometimes say start the car to help me remind myself of the R sound. So it starts off with that R sound, and then it's got this little sneaky thing at the end. What's that sneaky letter? It's the sneaky letter E, isn't it? And I've learned something about the letter E, is that it is definitely very sneaky, and it hops onto the ends of lots of words. For no reason sometimes it feels, just jumps itself in there. So when I try to remember how to spell this tricky word R, I just say R, start the car, or deck of cards, it's up to you. And then don't forget the sneaky E. Should we say it again? R, start the car, and don't forget the sneaky E. R, start the car, and don't forget the sneaky E. R, start the car, and don't forget the sneaky E. Do you think you're ready to copy it? Go on then, copy it down. Saying it as you do it. R, start the car. Use your phoney mat if you forget what that looks like. And then don't forget the sneaky E. Ready to see if you can remember it? Take a picture. And can you write down the word R? Can you remember how to spell it? Saying that little jingle if you can't remember. R, start the car, and don't forget the sneaky E. You got it? Let's have a look. Did you get it right? If you want to, you could leave your piece of paper with those two words written on to one side. So if you forget, you can have another look over. Okay, and mums and dads, that's completely fine. It's all about encouraging your child to remember these words in the best way that works for them. So for some children, they will learn these words by sight. So they will learn just what this word looks like. So to help them with that, they will need to just look back at this word lots and lots of times. Some children will learn how to write this word by saying that spelling pattern over and over again. So they will learn through listening, in which case encourage them to say that sound over and over again. And some children will just learn through practice, so through that muscle memory. So in which case they just write the word you over and over again. It's about finding what clicks with your child, but also trying all three is absolutely fine. Okay, these are tricky words if your child genuinely can't remember how to write them, and you've prompted them to say the rhyme, you've prompted them to remember in their head what it looks like, then do help them. Okay, so now we've got our tricky words, you and are, we're ready to use them in our sentence. So I've drawn my little strip here so I can be a bit like you, writing inside your fortune cookies. And what we're going to do then is we are going to write a kindness message. So let me think. Who am I going to write the message to first? I know. I'm going to write mine to my little baby first, because I know she'll be the first one into that bowl of fortune cookies. So I think I'd better write my message to her first. I'm going to write, you are funny. That sounds like a perfect sentence to sum up my baby. Right. When I write a sentence, I need to think it, say it, write it, check it. So I thought of it. You are funny. Now I need to say it. You are funny. You are funny. Whisper it. You are funny. Robot it. You are funny. Are you ready? Can you remember what the first word was in that sentence? What was it? Was it funny? No, that doesn't make sense. Was it you? It was, wasn't it? And I know how to spell that word. Y-O-U spells you. Y-O-U spells you. I don't know. Y-O-U spells you. You. Brilliant. I'm so glad we practiced that. That word has come in handy. You. What was the next word in my sentence? Can you remember? It was ah. Lovely. Let me put a nice finger space so that my words don't all get smooshed together. And can you remember how to spell the word ah? What was the little jingle that I said? I remember. It was the R digraph, wasn't it? R, start the car. And I needed to, don't forget the sneaky E. Don't forget the sneaky E. Perfect. What else was in my sentence? You are funny. That was the word I wanted to write. Funny. Right, let me get my finger space in and let's have a think about the word funny. Let me say it. Funny, 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 funny. E, funny. E, funny. 4 sounds in my word. What's the first sound in funny? Do you know it? It's what's the next sound? Oh. What's the next sound? Brilliant. Just pointing out here, we don't learn about doubling consonants when adding word endings until year 1. So I'm just going to gloss over that there's a double N in there. Funny. What's the last sound in the word funny? It's the E sound. Oh, I can put an E there. And I can put that E there. But it doesn't look quite right. What letter do I know that makes the E sound at the end of words? It's a cheeky one, isn't it? Keeps sneaking in and making the E sound at the end of words. Do you know what it is? I don't know why. The letter Y makes the E sound at the end of words. I don't know why, but it does. The letter Y makes the E sound at the end of words. Let me have a look. Have I written all of that word, funny? E, yep. You are funny. Have I finished my sentence? No, I haven't, because I need a full stop. Let me put that in there. You are funny. Oh, perfect. Right, I've had a go at writing a sentence. Now it's our turn. So we're going to have a go at writing a sentence together. Okay, so you're going to do some writing. So if you didn't write along with me last time, now is the time to write along with me. Okay, so pick up your pencils and let's think of something that we can write about our daddies. Or anybody else that you have at home. Oh, I've thought of one. You are cheeky. Or I could say, you are silly. I'm going to do silly. I'm going to go with you are silly. I think that's a really good one to describe my daddy. Right, you are silly. Let's say that sentence together. Ready? Go. Did you say the sentence? Okay, join in with me if you didn't. You are silly. You are silly. You are silly. Let's shout it. You are silly. Let's whisper it. You are silly. Let's robot it. You are silly. Are you ready to write? What's the first word in our sentence? Can you remember it? Can you tell your mums and dads? Did they get it right? It's the word you. Can you have a go at writing it? Can you remember what it looks like? Can you remember the little jingle? Y-O-U spells you. Y-O-U spells you. If you're really stuck, can you magpie it from somewhere on the page? Write it down then. Pause the video if you need more time. Did you do it? Y-O-U spells you. Why does O-U spell you? Doesn't make any sense. Y-O-U spells you. Did you get it? What's the next word in our sentence? You. Did you say it? I hope you are. I hope you're trying. You are. Right, let's see if we can remember how to spell the word are. It was a digraph, wasn't it? What digraph was it? Let me see. Can you find it? Ooh. And we need to, don't forget the sneaky. Go on then, you write it. You write down the word are. I'll wait for you. You got it? Let's have a look and see if you got it. It's, oh, thanks computer. It's the are, start the car or deck of cards, completely up to you. Are digraph, and don't forget the sneaky E. Perfect. You are, space. What was the last word in my sentence? Was it smelly? No, you're right, it wasn't smelly. What was it then? Silly. Right then, silly. Let's have a go at sounding out the word silly, because this one we can sound out. Ready? Silly, 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 silly. Did you sound it out? Have another go. Silly, 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 silly. Did you do it? Can you have a go at writing the first sound down for me in the word silly? Can you hear any more sounds in the word silly? Will you say it slowly and see if you can hear any? Silly. Can you pull that word apart? Did you have a go? Did you get all 4 sounds? I hope you had a really good try all by yourself, and let's have a look. Silly. Again, not touching on doubling consonants. E. What sound makes the E sound? What letter makes the E sound at the end of words? Why? I don't know why. You are silly. And what do I need to put at the end of my sentence? Full stop. Perfect. Look at these messages. I wonder what messages you can write for your family. Maybe you can write your messages a little bit nicer than mine, because mine are a bit cheeky, aren't they? Maybe you could write to somebody, you are lovely. Maybe you could write, you are cute. Maybe you could write, you are kind, or you are sweet. So many ideas. So I've had a turn. We've had a turn, now it's your turn. So I would really love to see what the children can do themselves, okay? So make sure you have a good go, and remember, whatever stage of the writing journey your child is at is absolutely fine, and we want to see if they are making marks and telling you that that says silly, cute, kind, that's absolutely fine. If they are getting one sound out of a word, again, that's absolutely fine. If they're getting a couple of words, if their sounding out is beginning to look a little bit like mine, absolutely brilliant. If this is super duper easy and they're doing even more than that, then brilliant. We just want to see exactly what your child is doing at home so that we can support you to help them move on. Okay, so I hope that you have enjoyed this writing lesson, and that you've definitely given it a go, because I know the last day of term is the hardest day to get motivated and do some writing, but I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope that it puts a smile on your face. I also hope that you have a really, really lovely half term. We're not going to be posting any homework or anything like that, because we think you've earned your break. Mums and dads, you've earned a break. Children, you've definitely earned a break. So please keep yourselves safe. If you want to share any updates of anything that you have been getting up to in half term over Class Dojo, that's lovely, and we would love to receive them, but we might not be messaging back as quickly as we have been doing whilst we've been at school. So stay safe, have a lovely half term. If you're celebrating Chinese New Year, I hope you have a fabulous day today. I also hope that everybody has a really, really lovely pancake day, because that's what I'm looking forward to. And yeah, have a lovely, lovely holiday, and I will see you all soon.